So Gabby, let's go ahead and take a couple of shots. Good, and then towards the camera as well for me, guys. Good. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you may have seen this video here. And in this video, I show you guys how to shoot a dramatic look using one single light source. And following on from a comment that I received from one of you guys, in today's video, we're going to be doing the exact same thing, but this time we're going to be using continuous light. To help us out today, we've got a lovely Gabby is back with us. So yeah, Gabby, do you mind taking a seat? Yeah. So for today's video, we're going to be using a 60-watt continuous light. This light goes from 0 all the way to 100 in terms of incremental stops. And we're also going to be using a 120 cm softbox. This way we get a really nice soft effect. For camera and lens combination, today we're going to be using Sony a7 IV, and that's paired with a Tamron 28-75. Personally, when I'm in studio and when I'm doing portrait, I prefer to use something above that 50mm range. So we're going to be using our camera and lens at about 75mm today for this demonstration. Remember, you can use whatever you've got available to create something very similar. But I do recommend having something from about 50mm upwards if you are going to be using a crop frame sensor camera. With that out of the way, the next step is to actually turn the lights off in the room. That way that light does not affect our actual frame. So we're going to do that now. So we'll switch the light off now. So now that we've got our house light off, the only light we have currently is our visual light. That way you guys can actually see me, but that light will not actually affect our frame, and I'll show you that in a minute. So the difference between using flash versus using continuous is simple. What you see is what you get with continuous. So you've got a little bit more control when it comes to the lighting and the final product. Whereas with flash, you have to obviously flash to make sure that you get the right settings. So you may end up taking a little bit longer with a flash versus using a continuous light. So a continuous light will get you to the results you want a lot quicker. How you're going to actually use it though is you want to use it in a way where you're exposing for your subject and the highlights. So you want to make sure that the exposure on your actual subject is good. I always say that it's best to actually underexpose your shots than to overexpose them. That way you can actually bring up your exposure in post if needs be. So for current setting, our camera is set at f2.8, shutter speed 100, and our ISO is at 100. You have to bear in mind that you're in studio, so shooting at a 2.8, you don't necessarily want a shallow depth of field. So in order to actually get everything in focus, you want to be roughly about f5. In order to get to f5 and still maintain the perfect exposure as you can see now, you have to raise your ISO or lower your shutter speed. Using a tripod will enable you to actually lower your shutter speed without introducing too much camera shake, if any. But I would recommend going with a slightly higher ISO. Yes, you're going to introduce a little bit of noise, but you can always combat that in Lightroom or Capture One. So we're going to try and get our settings. My preferred settings, especially in studio, is around f5. So in order to get to f5, we're going to have to raise our ISO. So we'll set our camera to f5, and then as we cycle through, we will then see the exposure on Gabby, and at ISO 320 it says our exposure is absolutely perfect, and all we got to do now is actually position our model and start shooting. It is that simple. So Gabby, let's go ahead and take a couple of shots. Good, and then towards the camera as well for me, guys. Good. Good. Perfect. And then chin down. Perfect. Nose back the way. Keep that little tilt. Okay. So One bonus tip for you: if you wanted to open up the shadows but still have great separation between your model and the backdrop, what you could do is use a reflector. So what I'm going to be using today is my trusty 5-in-1 reflector, and by simply placing this reflector parallel to the actual light, what that's going to do is open up the shadows on this side of Gabby's face. You could use the white or the silver side. Obviously the silver side will reflect more light than actual white, and the white will be a lot softer, so bear that in mind. So by using our silver reflector, you could place this on a stand, or you can get someone to hold it for you. That is going to enable us to open up the shadow side of Gabby's face there. So let's go ahead and take a shot with this and show you what that looks like. So 1, 2, 3. Good. And let's do one without. And there you have it, guys. A simple one light dramatic setup using one continuous light. I'd like to say a massive thank you to our model Gabby for joining us today. I'll put Gabby's link in the description below, so make sure you go check her out. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Did we get it? Did we get it?